Zionism versus white supremacism. What's the difference? The difference between white supremacism and Zionism lies in their origins, goals, ideologies, and how they are applied. However, both terms can become politically charged and are often used in complex and controversial contexts. Here's a clear and respectful comparison. Zionism and white supremacism, two words often confused. But they're not the same. Here's the real difference. 1. Core definition. White supremacism. White supremacism is the belief that white people are superior and should rule over others. It led to slavery, segregation, and genocide. It is basically a racist ideology based on the belief that white people are superior to people of other races and therefore should dominate society. It promotes racial hierarchy and exclusion. Zionism, a nationalist and political movement supporting the re-establishment and protection of a Jewish homeland in the territory defined as the Land of Israel, historically Palestine. Originally secular, it now includes both religious and secular forms. Zionism started as a Jewish movement for survival, to build a homeland in response to centuries of persecution, including the Holocaust. What is the difference? White supremacists want power by crushing others. Zionists wanted safety through a homeland. But recently, one ideology promotes hate, the other, identity and protection, but it's become controversial in how it's practiced. White supremacy is illegal and condemned around the world. Zionism today is debated. Some support it as protection. Others criticize Israel's policies, occupation, apartheid, or injustice toward Palestinians. Even Jewish voices globally speak out, calling for peace, not oppression. 2. Origin and historical context. White supremacism, rooted in colonialism, slavery, and segregation. Prominent in apartheid South Africa, Nazi Germany, and the American South, KKK, Jim Crow laws. Explicitly promotes racial purity and systemic oppression. Zionism emerged in late 19th century Europe as a response to anti-Semitic persecution. Founded by Theodor Herzl and others as a political solution to Jewish oppression in Europe, focused on Jewish self-determination, particularly after the Holocaust. 3. Ideological nature, white supremacism, exclusionary and supremacist. Views other races as inferior or a threat to white dominance. Often includes violent or extremist movements. Zionism, originally nationalist, later diversified. Seeks safety and autonomy for Jewish people. Includes left-wing, liberal, secular and religious strands. Criticized for exclusionary practices in its state implementation, i.e. Israeli policies, not necessarily in its ideology. 4. Practice and impact. White supremacism leads to racial violence, genocide, hate crimes, segregation, and institutional racism, universally condemned by international law and human rights frameworks. Zionism has led to the formation of the State of Israel, strongly defended by many Jewish communities worldwide as a right to exist and self-protect. Criticized by Palestinian advocates and some human rights groups when tied to Israeli government policies like occupation, settlement expansion, and discrimination against Palestinians. So what's the truth? White supremacy is racism, full stop. Zionism is a Jewish nationalist movement, not the same as Israeli policy. You can criticize injustice without hating identity. Know the facts. Speak the truth. Respect the difference. Stay away from getting in trouble, as Zionists and white supremacists work together when they target their critics. 5. Modern controversy. White supremacism is universally seen as a hateful ideology. Zionism is divisive. Supporters see it as Jewish liberation and survival. Critics, especially in the context of Israeli state policies, argue that it has led to ethnic displacement and apartheid-like conditions for Palestinians. Important distinction: anti-Zionism, anti-Semitism, unless it crosses into hatred or denial of Jewish rights. Remember to learn so you don't follow the path of ignorance.